4 reasons why you need to rethink your legal career now. So I know now doesn't seem like a great time to be rethinking your legal career, but let me explain. And let's start by thinking back to law school. I want you to think about what was that dream job that you ultimately wanted. And maybe you were like a lot of us, or a lot of lawyers who went to law school with one idea of the type of work you wanted to do, and then you came out grateful to have whatever job you could get. I mean, that was certainly me. I thought I was going to be in nonprofit, in working in a nonprofit at Legal Aid, and they lost the grant for my job in March before graduation. Yeah, I was just really happy to get that commercial lending gig, um, you know, without missing any time. But now that you've been practicing for a while, you've likely got a much better idea of what that ideal job looks like for you. And even though you might not be sure that it exists or you don't really know how to find it, the good news is there's a process for figuring that out. But for now, let's talk about what these 4 reasons are for you to be rethinking your legal job, your legal career right now. So, first one is that you can't go after your ideal job if you don't know what it is. Right? It seems obvious, but if you don't know exactly what that looks like, how can you go find it? So here's an analogy. I want you to imagine yourself going holiday shopping, like in the middle of December, or, early December when things are getting crazy. And you brave all the traffic. You have to wait, figure out to get a parking spot that's not like 3 miles away. There's tons of people and, whatever else is going on, okay? So you get there and you have given 0 thought to who you need to buy gifts for, let alone what they may want. You would never do that. You would never do that. And so I want you to apply that to your job search. Why would you go through all of that effort of like looking for jobs on boards and applying for them and going through an interview process only to get to the end and realize, oh, this is not what anyone wants. All right? So by taking your time, or taking the time now, whether you are actively looking for a new job or not, but taking that time now to figure out what you want is going to allow you to focus your limited time and energy on finding and applying to that type of ideal job when you are ready to do that. So you can figure that out now. All right. So the second reason, let me check my notes here, is that if you wait for your dream job or your ideal job to just magically drop in your lap one day, you could waste years just stagnating or worse in your current job. So by thinking about this now, about how you can go about finding that allows you to be proactive in your job search. Even if you're not actively searching, okay? We're talking about being proactive. And once you know what that is, once you know what that ideal job is, you can put together your own customized job search routine to track it down. And as much as I'd love to tell you that, your perfect job will just materialize in short order after doing all this, it's not often the case. So even when you know exactly what you're looking for and you're putting together a plan, even the most intentional of job searches can take some time to yield results. And that's normal. But the key here is that it takes time. So even if you're not sure that, you're in you want to move, you want to change your job or do anything like that right now, it's still worthwhile to consider and to be proactive. You can do that now. It'll save yourself so much heartache and time spent down the road. All right, so number 3. If you take some time to identify your values now, it's going to put you at the top of your hiring manager's list later. And you're probably like, where did that come from? That doesn't seem related to this at all. So bear with me here. Can you name your top 8 core values right now? Top 4? Maybe? Well, if you answered no, you're in good company. Most lawyers don't give their core values a second thought, even a first thought. I didn't until I was several years into my legal career. But it's so important, and it can be such a valuable use of your time, because core values are the key to knowing what's most important to you and what motivates you. So your core values allow you to articulate why a particular job is ideal for you. And then from there, you'll be able to effectively communicate to your future employer why you're the ideal candidate for them, because your core values are going to be aligned with the values of that organization or the type of work that they do. And that speaks really powerfully. Employers notice that stuff. They can sense that. All right, so we're on to the fourth one. Here's the fourth reason why rethinking your legal career right now is a good idea. And that's because the number one way for finding a job is through a personal referral. And I'm sure you know that, and it's not super fun to hear. But here's something that's even less fun to hear. And you might have heard it before, but the statistic is that an estimated 85% of job openings are never posted to the public. Yeah, but I don't want you to fixate on that too much, because you can get access to that 85%. I mean, 85%, there's a lot out there. So you need to just figure out how to get into that market. And it usually boils down to networking. Stay with me. Stay with me. I know most lawyers, we don't like to talk about networking. We don't like to think about networking, but that's because for a lot of us lawyers, networking conjures up this image of like a big kind of like meet and greet rubber chicken dinner where you're glad handing a bunch of strangers and, asking them what they do. And you're just thinking about, oh God, like, how can they help me? How can I help them? I get it. So that's the first thing that comes up. But that's not something that's going on right now in a, COVID world, right? That's not going to be happening for a while. And that's an advantage, okay? There you can find other ways to network, especially online, okay? So hopefully we can move away from that idea of like networking being totally gross and awful. And you can figure out a way of networking that works for you. That's what my sticky note solution is for. You can get that for free on my website. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to rethink the idea of networking. I want you to think of it in terms of just developing long-term relationships. They don't have to be serious relationships, but just relationships. And the reason why I'm talking in terms of long-term relationships is because you don't want these relationships to be transactional, okay? You're not just talking to any random stranger and then immediately expecting them to, upon meeting you, to, say, oh, I know about this job opening that you'd be a good fit for. How will they know? How would they know? If they've just met you, they don't know if you're a great fit or not. They may not know if the job is what you want. There's so much that's unknown because you just met. Okay? So you want to get to know people, and you want to start to develop these three things where they get to know you, they get to like you, and they get to trust you, and vice versa. You want to engage with people like that as well, because as humans, we love to help each other, and that pull for reciprocity is really strong. So you want to be able to help as much as you can. They want to be able to help you as much as they can. But you guys have to get to know each other in a somewhat meaningful way, okay? So when I'm talking about long-term relationships, that implies time, right? These relationships do take time. So you got to start now, and if you've already got a network that you've established, attend to it, nurture it, keep it going. This is a lifelong or a career-long endeavor, right? So if you want your best chance at finding your ideal job, there's no better time to start and grow your network than right now. Okay, so we went over 4 reasons why now would be a good time for you to start rethinking or thinking about your legal career and where you want to go and what you want to do. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this today is because I see so many talented lawyers who are, stuck in their unsatisfying jobs just because they can't figure out a way out. And it's heartbreaking to see. And I relate to that. I was in jobs that I didn't like, and I wasn't sure of how I was going to change jobs or do something different. But the options are there. So if you feel like, yeah, now is a good time for me to just kind of think about these things and figure out where I can be proactive so that when I am ready to make a move, I've got a plan, you know, ready to go in place, then you can hit the link at the bottom below here. And it's for my ultimate job change checklist for lawyers. And what you'll see on there is the full framework of what I teach in my Make Your Next Move course. And it allows you to see where you can focus your efforts even before you're actively job hunting. Because when I talk to lawyers, they almost always jump to, and I did this too, jump right to like the job boards and the resume, and that's where we start to think, right? But you'll see as soon as you download the checklist that there's a lot that can be done and should be done before you ever get to that point. Okay? So if you're not already following me, follow me here on LinkedIn, follow me on Instagram, and I'll be back in a week with another one of these. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a week.